Jesus for prophecy as to how we can receive it. Okay, the latter rain and its conditions. Okay, but first let's define what is the latter rain. What is really the latter rain? Okay, there's many interpretations about this latter rain that when the latter rain is going to be poured out, just like the early rain that happened in the during the disciples, that they were on fire, that you will have some extra, uh, that you will just be changed, or you will have the strength and the power, to be able to proclaim the message. And when someone gets the latter rain, the person will just be totally changed. I mean, let's find out if what is this latter rain. Okay, so what is the latter rain actually? According to Acts of Apostles, this one is found in Acts of Apostles, page 55, paragraph 1. It says here, but near the close of earth's harvest, a special bestowal of spiritual grace is promised to prepare the church for the coming of the Son of Man. This outpouring of the Spirit is likened to the falling of the latter rain. So the latter rain is actually the outpouring of the Holy Spirit. Okay, it is the outpouring of the Holy Spirit. So when God promised that He's going to give us the latter rain, He's actually promising us that He's going to pour out the Holy Spirit. Remember, we need to understand that the Holy Spirit is one of the tool that we need. Without the Holy Spirit, we don't have no guidance. Remember, we all already understand the work of the Holy Spirit, right? The work of the Holy Spirit is to guide, to convict, to bring us to Christ, righteousness, and of judgment, right? So that is the work of the Holy Spirit, to convict us. So how many times we've been convicted? That means the Holy Spirit is actually working in our lives, right? Because sometimes we are being convicted. When you're doing something wrong, and then you feel like you have done something wrong, you are convicted. That means the Holy Spirit is actually working in your heart, right? Because that is the work of the Holy Spirit. So the latter rain is just the outpouring of the Holy Spirit. Okay? And that's why we've been praying for the latter rain, Pray for the latter rain. That's Review and Herald, March 2, 1897. But the question is, how will the latter rain come to us? Okay, how will the latter rain come to us? According to 2SM 49, Christ has given warnings so that none need accept falsehood for truth. The only channel through which the Spirit operates is that of the truth. So the only way that the Holy Spirit can come to us is only by the truth. That means the Holy Spirit is actually connected to the truth. You cannot separate the Holy Spirit from the truth, because the Holy Spirit is called the Spirit of truth. It says here in John 16:13, howbeit when He, the Spirit of truth, is come, He will guide you into all truth. For He shall not speak of Himself, but whatsoever He shall hear, that shall He speak, and He will show you things to come. So the Holy Spirit is called the Spirit of truth. And that's why it's important to recognize that when we talk about the latter rain, we're talking only the Holy Spirit. We can learn the truth. We can easily learn the truth by the guidance of the Holy Spirit. Some people go to the school, right, to study about theology or the Bible. Sometimes it will take them 4 years to be able to finish something, the degree that they have. But the Holy Spirit can teach us more or easily without even going to the school, as long as you recognize the guidance of the Holy Spirit. So when the Holy Spirit is come, it says here, howbeit when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all the truth. Okay? So the Holy Spirit is actually connected to the truth. So when we are praying for the latter rain, remember that it's been emphasized in the churches. Pray for the latter rain. Pray for the latter rain, right? Because when the latter rain comes to you, you will just be changed. You will be changed. What kind of change, actually? I mean, just like remember the story of King Saul. King Saul, remember King Saul? When he joined the school of the prophets, he was also prophesying. Now, was Saul a prophet? I mean, he was changed actually, but did that change last? No, because he was not living up to the light that he had. I mean, God gave him the truth, but he was not walking with the truth. He was rebelling against God. Okay, he was actually working contrary to what God was telling him. So even though the Holy Spirit was willing to guide him, but still, if his nature or his life is not willing to accept that, he will always go back to his old nature. So in other words, in order for us to really appreciate the working of the Holy Spirit, we need to practice the truth so that the truth can help us, because the Spirit is connected to the truth. So when you're praying for the Holy Spirit, okay, people today are praying for the Holy Spirit, but at the same time, they are rejecting the truth. So how can they expect the guidance of the Holy Spirit when they are actually rejecting the truth? The Holy Spirit is connected to the truth. When you accept the truth, who are you accepting actually? According to Review and Herald, April 11, 1893, paragraph 7, the Lord is testing the people of today as much as he tested the Jews in their day. When he sends his messages of mercy, the light of his truth, he is sending the Spirit of truth to you. And if you accept the message, you accept of Jesus. So the Holy Spirit is connected to the truth. When you reject that truth, you are rejecting Christ. You are rejecting Christ. You are rejecting the Holy Spirit. You are rejecting Christ as well. So how can the Holy Spirit guide you when you are already rejecting the truth? So, the most of the Adventists does not really understand that the latter rain is connected to the truth. You cannot divide the two. You cannot separate the Holy Spirit from the truth. Now, when the early rain was pouring during the disciples, right? Remember the promise from Joel 2:28 that in the last days the Lord is going to pour out his Holy Spirit. What were the followers doing actually? What were the disciples who were the recipients of the early rain? What were they doing? Okay, remember there are some conditions to be able to receive the latter rain or the Holy Spirit. So what were the disciples actually? the followers of Christ doing before they received the outpouring of the Holy Spirit in the early rain? What were they doing actually? Let's go back to the let's go to the next slide here. Okay. Okay, hold on. What were the followers of Christ doing before they received the outpouring of the Holy Spirit? Okay. We have, I would like to acknowledge we have one brother joining us, Dr. Israel, okay, from Illinois. I don't know what time that you are in. If you are from Chicago, good evening to you and happy Sabbath. And thank you for joining us tonight. So we're studying about the latter rain and its conditions of how we can receive the latter rain. You know, the latter rain is the outpouring of the Holy Spirit. Okay, it's just another term being used by Christ in Acts of Apostles. He promised that before he comes, he will pour out his Holy Spirit, and that is the latter rain. Okay, it says there in the Acts of Apostles 55. If you have missed that quotations, but near the close of earth's harvest, a special bestowal of the spiritual grace is promised to prepare the church for the coming of the Son of Man. This outpouring of the Spirit is likened to the falling of the latter rain. So the latter rain is the outpouring of the Holy Spirit. Now, before we can receive the Holy Spirit, there are things that we need to do. Okay, many people are praying for the latter rain, but at the same time rejecting the message. The Holy Spirit is connected to the message. Okay, that's why it is called the Spirit of Truth. It is called the Spirit of Truth. That is in John 16 verse 13. And I was just reading about the Review and Herald a while ago that when you reject the message that is given to you, you are actually rejecting Christ. You are rejecting the Holy Spirit. Okay. It says there that, let me just review it. The Lord is testing the people of today as much as he tested the Jews in their day. Okay. When he sends his messages of mercy, the light of his truth, he is sending the Spirit of truth to you. And if you accept the message, you accept Jesus. So when you accept the message, you are actually accepting the Spirit of truth to you. Okay? And if you accept that message, you are actually accepting Christ. That's it. But there are conditions to be able to receive this. Okay? Now, what was one of the conditions actually? What were the disciples doing when they received the early rain? Good evening. We have another sister joining us from McAllen. Good evening to you, Sister Mia. Happy happy Sabbath. And we also have another person joining us. The iPhone here. I think it is from what? Loma Linda. Sister Henny?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. Welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. I did not recognize the number, but thank you for joining. And so we are just discussing about the issue of the latter rain here. Okay. Okay. Now, what are the conditions to be able to receive the latter rain or the outpouring of the Holy Spirit? What were the followers of Christ doing before they received the outpouring?